uh, Galactic. I always get the show names mixed up for some reason. I don't know why. Galactic Gumbo episode number 47. I'm joined with good old Sport. Sport, tell people where they can find you at.
You can find me on YouTube as Sportimus and on Twitter as Sportimus Prime.
And Dakota's supposed to be with us. I guess he's just running late. Maybe he's eating. There's no telling what he's doing. Hopefully he does make it in for the show tonight. We started going weekly. This is the first back-to-back week, so we will be a weekly show from here on out, as long as we at least have one person in the cast. So I guess we'll see how that goes. Last week, I told people to send in questions, or stuff what you want us to talk about of that nature. And a friend of mine named Zach had sent in a question, wanting to know he wanted to know our top 10, but I just think 10 was too much for us to come up with. So we're going to do our top 5, what figures we would like to see out of the War for Cybertron trilogy series currently going on, which the first series is Siege, and we pretty much know what's going to finish up in Siege line. I believe, let's see, what was it? What was left to come out? We have Reflector, Red Alert, Mirage, Rook, or Impactor, Impactor, and Thundercracker, Skywarp. Now, I think that's pretty much it. So we might start seeing some oddballs later on. I know we'll see. Who was it? The Target Master. The one that did the Ironhide mold, they announced.
Oh, God. I forget his name. Yeah, I just can't remember his name.
Yeah, brain farts. The Ironhide mold.
Yeah,
and
that's a good
that
one.
was a good choice on that.
And plus, we'll get that smoke screen and blue streak repaint.
Right, that's part of, I think they're saying that's part of the 35th anniversary.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's considered Siege or whatever the next incarnation of the series is supposed to be.
That's true. There's
no telling, So, Sport, I know I had sent the message out, I think last week. Did you have your 5 you knew you wanted or you would like to see?
Yeah, I've got 5. It could be either Autobots and Decepticons, right?
Yeah, I don't see why not.
So definitely Sunstreaker. That's my boy. So I definitely want to see Sunstreaker. I'd love to see more Target Masters. Sure Shot, I think his name is. The yellow buggy.
The buggy.
Yeah, I'd love to see him. And I'd love to see the Insecticons.
Okay.
So that's kind of want to count that.
So you made yours quick. You made yours real quick. You made yours 5 and out.
Yeah, because all the ones that I wanted are already coming out. So
now, do you really think they would do another Insecticon, knowing that we just got them in the last trilogy series and Legends House?
Honestly, probably not. If you wanted me to replace them,
no, you don't have to. I was just thinking.
We can say the Coneheads because they already have that mold for the Tetrajet, so they can easily make Coneheads out of that.
Right. So they would actually. So the cones, would they actually be part of the actual head sculpt, or would that need to be an add-on accessory?
That's a good question. I don't have the mold, so I'm not sure. I don't remember how that head came out, but I'm sure they can figure out a way to do it.
I was going to think if I had it here, but I already put up in the case that Red Wing I had. Didn't know how much headroom was actually left behind it of that nature. Man, when I thought about this, I was kind of like you. I know that they've already announced Ape Face, so Snapdragon is a must.
Oh, I forgot about that one. You're right. Yeah.
So Snapdragon should be a must.
Can't have him without him. Yeah.
I would like to see some obscure characters make their way out, since they did Snapdragon and Ape. they're doing Ape Face, so hopefully they are going to do a Snapdragon. So I would kind of think, Snapdragon, and then I was actually thinking of Sunstreaker as well. I was thinking he'll probably. I wouldn't be surprised if they did it out of the side swipe mold. They probably burn that mold up.
Yeah,
because it's pretty much like that almost.
I'd like to see them retool it a little bit, but yeah.
Decepticon wise, it would be nice to see who is an obscure Decepticon. Let's see, trying to think, we've already seen. Oh, I know who I was thinking of. Thunderclash.
Oh, okay.
See him out of the Optimus Prime Voyager mold.
That'd be cool. Yeah.
Or maybe they could actually make a trailer for it somehow or another and not be crappy looking.
Right.
So yeah, I would want to see Thunderclash. And I hate to say it, but I would like to see. I know it probably won't happen unless the Hasbro Pulse does it, but what is it called? A G2 Starscream in G2 colors.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
That would be nice to see. I don't think it will happen. I know it's probably like way out there in left field, but I would love to see that. How many is that? 1, 2, 3?
Yeah.
Thunderclash.
Sunstreaker, you mentioned. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Sunstreaker.
So 4.
Man, I got 4 so far?
Yeah. Thunderclash.
Okay, yeah, Thunderclash. Here's one. It would be let's do an obscured mini bot. Let's think about like a hubcap.
Yeah, or pipes.
Yeah, one of those who haven't, thankfully, knock on wood, we haven't seen a crap ton of bumblebees. You know what I mean?
That's refreshing. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I would not want to see a whole bunch of bumblebees. So I know this probably would have lasted a little bit longer if Dakota had been here, but I guess he's sleeping, eating, or something.
Yeah.
So Zach, thanks for that question. So if there's any viewers watching now or watching later on who want to send in a question for input on certain items, just message me on Facebook, more or less, and we'll go from there. So starting in our topic, I'm going to try to find the link real quick. Let's see here. Hasbro Pulse has done their thing where they have, what is it called? A crowdfunder kind of thing,
Right.
And so you would, let's see, where's it at? Here we go. And the first one they did was the TazLab. That's what it was. It was the first one they did was the Star Wars. What is that? Barge.
The sail barge, yeah.
Sail barge, which was funded, and it literally goes for double. I mean, literally double for what it originally was, just from the get go.
It's a good piece. Yeah.
So everyone was kind of thinking, maybe we'll see something cool from Transformers, G.I. Joe, and Matty Collector came out and they did the Snake Mountain, and everyone was like, cool, man, we're getting a lot of cool stuff. And then HasLabs was like, you know what? Hold my beer. We got something for you. They have come out with a 3-foot Sesame Street Cookie Monster. This is the biggest kick in the nuts to the fandom of anything I've ever seen in my life. This thing is, let's see here, something better than chocolate ice cream, maybe a friend, has been a friend, making you laugh, singing songs, entertain you with his unapologetic appetite for cookies. Oh, num num. As you know, lifetime Fan friends, you deserve the opportunity to bring home this ultimate character item, a fully posable, full-size Cookie Monster replica. Your very own version of a childhood icon, a dream collectible you'll give up your last cookie for. Don't worry, we've got you. Limit of 5 per transaction. If you're taking 5 of these, you have got some pedophile issues. You feel like you have a small child in the house, I guess, and you need 5 of them to chase them around. HasLab, you should be ashamed of yourself. This is the biggest disappointment of 2019. Right now, there are currently 161 future child molesters who have backed this funding of $300 a piece. They are targeting 3,000 backers, 44 days, 3 hours, 57 minutes until some old man in the panel van's dream comes true. I'm sorry, whoever at Hasbro or HasLabs came up with this big pile of garbage, you need to be taken out to the back 40 and a bullet put in your head. I mean,
oh, no.
No, seriously. I mean, this is the biggest crock of crap I've ever seen in my life. And where do you really feel like you're going to find 3,000 people who are going to want to, I mean, Matt, oh my God, let me screen share this. Sport, you have to tell me if I'm doing it right or not, okay?
No problem.
Let's see. Application. Sure. Oh, okay, I can see from the side now.
I can see it too.
Okay, let's see what I can see.
Now, I like Cookie Monster, but who needs a 3-foot tall $300 Cookie Monster? Nobody.
Which screen are you seeing? Are you seeing the Indus? Yeah, you're
seeing the infinite screen here.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure, because if I click on this here, it brings up and I can't see it.
I do see Cookie Monster now.
Okay. Yeah. So, here are these two people. You know what? What the hell do you have to grin about? I mean, you got a finger up that woman's butt. I mean, for a smile like that. I mean, and seriously, this guy back here, he looks like a child molester. I just don't get it. And he's married, of all things. So I cannot fathom the idea of this. I'm thinking to myself, where on the earth did they come up with this? I mean, this is almost up there if they did a 10-gallon jar of Play-Doh, of all things. I mean, crowdfunding for that. So you got 161 backers, 3,000 targeted. I hope this doesn't get funded. I hope it gets to 2,999 and it doesn't get funded. Yeah. That's how stupid this is. So I want to click. Let's see some of the other pictures we got here. Oh, look, the pedophile's fixing to get me. I got to hide. I mean, come on. This here. Jeez. Like, I mean, seriously. I mean, would you fund something like this?
Not in a million years.
So, what other things? We were talking about off air, and one of the things you said that they should have done was maybe a 3-foot Yoda. Why can't you do something like that? Is there that much fandom for Sesame Street outside the pedophiles League of Assassins? I mean, I just don't understand it. I mean, you could have done Yoda. You could have done a 3-foot Unicron. You could have done a Pterodome, a U.S. flag. You could have done a number of things. Gosh, what something from Marvel Legends that was never done. Maybe the Shield Helicarrier. You could have done all kinds of things. That you don't want to put on the shelves. I mean, this is something that's not surprising, since I guess Hasbro is doing because Hasbro now owns Power Rangers. Hey, y'all could have done the whatchamacallit, the Power what's the damn thing called? The
Megazord?
No. The clubhouse is what I'm gonna say. But not the clubhouse.
Their headquarters thing.
Their headquarters, Zordon, like the big building. You could have done a number of things. Hold on a second. Okay, there we go. Cool. I can add that back if I want to.
Nice.
So, yeah, bam. Okay, didn't know I could do that. Learning something new every time. So, yeah. So we know Hasbro owns Power Rangers now. So this year at San Diego Comic-Con, let's see if I can find it really quick. San Diego Comic-Con 2019 exclusives. Let's see if I can pull something up. I'm not good at spelling. 2019 exhibitor list is of a mess. Here we go. Let's talk about some exclusives. Let's talk about some disappointments this year.
Okay.
So I know Josh will do we'll review all the action figures from the pictures from there. Let's see, Entertainment Factory, brands, product type. Let's see. All right, let me type in something else for a specific company. Let's type in Power Rangers and let's see what happens. Let's see. I thought, okay, yeah, here's let's see here. And these are something that's already on eBay. So these are the scalpers already trying to burn a hole in your wallet. San Diego Comic-Con 2019 exclusive has the Power Rangers Lightning Collection, which is basically for Jason, the Red Ranger with the Green Ranger shield and Dragon Zord, and the Gold Ranger from Zeo, which isn't too awfully bad.
That's
there,
the
I'll just pull up the. Yeah, that's the 2-pack. Someone's asking $125 for it already, and that's something that could probably be like a $60 item. Let's see, Power Ranger Lightning Collection. Let's see what we can see here. So here's what the packaging looks like. Pretty cool packaging. I remember kind of looking at this before, and the heads just didn't look right. They don't look all that great. I mean, let's see if this pulls up another picture.
That's a bummer.
I guess I'm going to get on. Tell me if it zooms in when I zoom in. Did it zoom in on you at all?
It sure did. Yep.
Okay, yeah. So you can kind of look to the left, the shit-eating grin face Jason before he was replaced by Rocky, and then the Jason on the right that was like, yeah, y'all just brought me back for the Gold Zeo storyline, and then you're gonna let me go. So, happy before I was replaced by Rocky, and then sad that I was only back for a certain amount of episodes. So those are kind of blurry-ish pictures, I'm sure, depending on how it worked on the StreamYard this time around, whether it's actually pretty decent looking or not. Man, I want to sit there and say there was, yeah, here it is. Here it is. Yay. I don't know if this is Hasbro doing this or what. Oh, come on. Click on it, damn it. Yeah. Nick Alive, Hasbro reveals 2019 San Diego Comic-Con Power Rangers Razor, whatever this thing is.
Oh, I need that.
Yeah. This
Sarcasm.
here, I thought there was a gold one, but maybe the green one's retail and the gold one is San Diego. But any way you look at it, this is what Hasbro thinks of its fandom for Power Rangers. They bought out Power Rangers just to do this shitty crap. I mean, granted, they put out some figures. I don't think the figures are all that great. I really think they're kind of shitty, to be honest with you. There's Primal Sabbath. Primal Sabbath, about time, buddy.
Dude, it's about time. You let me in. Been sitting in here for like 20 minutes, man.
Hey there, princess.
Oh, don't do that. Don't do that shit.
Hey, Sporty Poo.
Man, let's see. We were talking about the San Diego exclusives.
Yeah.
And the
Yeah,
Cookie Monster. You missed the Cookie Monster.
Man. I was kind of hoping I didn't miss a Cookie Monster because a few people.
Oh, hey, no, hey, hold on. We
Talk
can go
about
back and make all.
Yeah, totally.
We'll go back.
Well, I
and,
mean, let's just work our way. Let's just work our way back. The 2-pack with the Red Ranger with the gold stuff, the little gold chest piece. I think that looks pretty cool.
Me too.
Even though like I still don't remember him ever wearing the Green Ranger's like vest. I still think it's pretty cool.
He did not very many episodes, but he did.
Yeah. And, like that's what people tell me. I just that's it may have been just a series of episodes I just forgot because I watched it all as a kid and it's just one of those things that I never got back into as an adult.
It's kind of like where Hasbro gives you exclusives on rarity of figures that only showed up for kind of like take for example the G.I. Joe Club doing Big Lob, and he was only in the G.I. Joe movie at the last 5 seconds of the movie, and that was it.
Really,
So,
he wasn't in the series following the movie at all?
Nope.
Oh, that's wild. That's crazy.
So yeah, I mean, you got to kind of look at where they're doing obscure things, and I don't have the whole list.
Right, and like that's honestly that's something as far as I'm guessing like Pulse is concerned, like that should be what Pulse is for the obscures, like Smokescreen and Blue Streak, Silver Streak, whatever they want to call them, like those should not be Generation Select series. That should be like mainline junk. The Lancer,
those
huh?
No, I was going to say those weren't obscure characters at all by any means.
Right.
They're just they're just trying to push
yeah.
their thing. That's why.
Now the Shockwave that's coming out.
Shockwave?
That's
you mean Shockwave?
No, the Galactic Man.
Oh,
the Galactic
Shockwave.
Man.
Oh
Shockwave. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
We
that's
haven't talked about it yet. I was going to.
Yeah, that's yeah. That's that I think fits that bill pretty perfectly.
Totally. Yeah.
But anyways, the Cookie Monster. This is something that I think a few people like retweeted me with some like, I guess I don't know if I would call it snarky, but it was just two, and I get it. I'm not very active on Twitter, have a big Twitter following thing, but I know 2 people, and like I don't even know how they saw it, found it, whatever, but had something to say about Sesame Street and Cookie Monster is going to make them so much more money, and instead of these dead toy lines or whatever for this Hasbro Pulse thing, I was like, or not Pulse, the HasLab thing. I was like, isn't HasLab supposed to be like we're not sure on this, so let's kind of just bet here that maybe this many people are going to want it, back it, and get it funded?
Really? I can't believe so. I mean, we were talking before you got in. I mean,
both people. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was going to say they're expecting 3,000 people, and there's 162 people, and they're allowing you to get up to 5 of them per household.
Well, the way I understand it is like this photoreal Muppet stuff. Like it typically goes for like big money. Like there's a bunch of Sesame Street collectors out there that like all these realistic Muppets, and they typically sell for a couple of grand because they're all either custom pieces or whatever. And it's wild. I mean, to me, it's wild, and I'm sure to them, anyone who's buying $2,000 to $3,000 Transformer toys is probably wild too.
Do you think they'll reach their goal?
I mean, like I don't. That's the thing. I don't want to be nobody likes being wrong, right? Nobody likes being that guy. So like I don't want to say they won't, because it would be just my luck that they would, and then I got someone, again, some nobody on Twitter saying, hey, you were wrong, and I'm like, well, okay, great, like for the people who want one, great. I'm hoping that that they get it. the Tickle Me Elmo crowd. They are of 10,000 fans strong.
Because we were talking about this before you came on, and we were saying that there could have been better choices, like a 3-foot Yoda or a Unicron. This was sort of left field,
The rumor that was on the streets was that it was going to be an arc, like the next HasLab thing was going to be an arc for Transformers.
Oh wow!
What all that would have entailed, who knows? Like what all it would have done, anybody's guess. But supposedly, quote unquote, the arc was the thing that was kind of floating around. But and I know Rick isn't here, but he was just like, what about the pit? What about then I was even like, well, what about Avengers Tower? What about a new flag that doesn't snap just from picking it up? And of course the response to all of that was like, G.I. Joe's dead line. Sesame Street's still going strong. And they're out to make money, and I get it, like they're out to make money, but like that's not what HasLab is about. HasLab is about like taking that gamble.
Yeah, I'm thinking more of when I think of grown. Well, I guess they probably think weird of us, but when I think of grown men and puppets, I think panel bands and porn stashes.
Yeah, man, like it's wild, and I like it's so weird because I see a lot of people just like, I'm so into this. And I'm just like, are you really though?
Oh, Elmo like in my basement.
It's like
I mean, are they banking on the actual collector to get this, or are they actually thinking that a parent is going to buy a $300 3-foot Cookie Monster?
I think they're banking on the collector going after it. I mean, which is all well and good. I mean, what parent? I mean, I don't know. Like this is something else. It's like someone said, well, HasLab is meant to be just that obnoxiously priced thing that retail just isn't going to carry. And my response was, what about Big Bad? What about Amazon? What about Entertainment Earth? All these specialty shops that will carry stuff like Hot Toys and Sideshow and statues and this and that and the other. You can't sit there and tell me that, just because Walmart and Target aren't going to carry a $300 item that, it can't be made in, what is it, the 3,000 run minimum? I mean, if it's such a popular thing and people sink all this money into, they could have sold that idea on Amazon, Big Bad, and Entertainment Earth, all three of them,
Well, they'll make more than 3,000. They have to make a few extra, but.
Well, yeah, but I mean, as far as getting it funded, just having the kind of set 3,000, it's it's crazy. Like we went from sail, and like I'm not a big Star Wars fan, but we went from like sail barge, this big, huge, cool, like this thing is going for what, like $2,000 on the market, something like that, or at
almost
least
$2,000.
Yeah.
Did you know that there was actually one at the show? My show, I didn't even know it was there until I saw the pictures later. And the guy that Josh bought his Star Wars from,
mm-hmm.
The guy at the very front had the like long tables of everything of Star Wars and stuff. He actually had it up there in front of his booth. I didn't even know it was there.
Yeah, I didn't even know Josh bought anything at your show.
Apparently the guy had the new wave of Star Wars, and he was like, it was the price he was asking for was what he would have bought and paid for in a store. So he was like, I just might as well get them.
Yeah, and like that's another thing too, man. I like how a lot of people just like to focus on the fact that, like, G.I. Joe is just something that's mentioned as something that could use a HasLabs thing. They like to go and immediately point that it's a quote unquote dead line. And it's like, it's only a dead line because it's just got poor brand management, poor brand promotion. I think that if you put that up and it needed, whatever, 2,000, 3,000 orders, you would get something like that. You'd get one of those, big, cool play sets. But but like no one wants to focus on what if it's the Unicron, because Transformers is still pretty popular. What if it's again, Avengers Tower, something,
That would
something
be
that
cool if it was
is
Avengers
very much
Tower.
alive. Yeah, I mean, it would
Yeah.
definitely be like another 3 3/4 inch base thing, and they aren't really putting out 3 3/4 inch Marvel stuff anymore. But I mean, it'd still be something, I think it'd still be something that the Marvel crowd would go after. So it's ridiculous. Like I said, I would never hope that something not get funded, because there's always someone out there that's looking at this and they're like, well, I really want this.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's just it may not be for us, but there's people out there, like you mentioned, that I didn't even know about. So,
and considering like HasLabs is so underutilized, like they should have at least 2 or 3 different projects going at a time to appeal to all the different. It's like our Joe Transformer mask and etc. collectors really are they really competing with Sesame Street puppet collectors?
Can you imagine them doing a Boulder Hill?
I mean, anything.
Wow,
Honestly,
what a way to kick
absolutely.
off a line,
Right, or even just we've talked about it before. Just a like if they wanted to just essentially bring back the mask line, and it be a HasLabs thing where it's like pledge $500 and you get the kind of the main crew, so to speak. You get your full set of action figures, instead of just a big play set, or you get this big thing or this or that. Like you get an actual like cart of figures, essentially. Just like I said, man, I think that they need to have more than one iron in this fire for the HasLabs thing. And if you look at Hasbro Pulse, like if you would have told me Hasbro had the Sesame Street license, I would have laughed in your face like you were joking. Like I would have been like, okay, really? I'd have told you to shut the fuck up. But it's wild. Like there's nothing Sesame Street related on Pulse. And then for HasLab to be like, C is for collecting or whatever. I'm like, well, again, the people that want it, I hope they get it. Hope they meet their goal. They got 44 days. I don't know how many backers they have.
Let's see, 162 backers of 3,000, and they have just about 4 hours, 44 days and 4 hours to go.
Okay, yes. I mean, if they keep up that pace, they'll make it.
Yeah.
And that's like I said, it's all well and good, but I don't think that someone can sit there and say that the Pit, Boulder Hill, or the Flag wouldn't get that kind of a response.
Right.
That's just me. I know the Joe fandom isn't that big, but certainly it's at least 3,000 starving fans big. Or even 2,000, and half of them would at least double down.
Right, and that would be something that we'll kind of go into our next subject. Would be a 3 3/4 line, which we know most Joe collectors are 3 3/4 line. For people who don't know, I don't think we talked about as much on this show as we have on Just Our G.I. Joe show. Bobby Valla, the head toy designer over at Hasbro that was let go last year, started a Kickstarter, and he has less than 2 days, I think, to go. Less than 3 for sure. But in Sunday, July 14th at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time, he started a 12-inch line military force, which can be found on Kickstarter under Action Force. He's doing
12 inch or 6 inch?
6 inch.
12 inch. 12 inch. I'm saying 12 inch on the wall. I guess because I wish I was 12 inches is what it is. But
no comment.
I guess it's he did a 6-inch line. his fund goal was $170,000, and he's only at 77,000.
Wow.
I, for one, am one who would not say this, but I am pretty much thinking it's probably not going to happen. Hopefully, there's something he can do afterwards, or some other way to get it funded, or to
I hope he doesn't give
himself
up.
and still.
I hope he doesn't give
no,
up.
I don't either.
He's got talent, and what I've seen they're really good looking figures. He's got a lot to offer. I just think he needs to repackage it.
That's
and
what
Mike,
someone else had said about.
Yeah, I was gonna say you and I had kind of talked about it. It's something that I would like to see get funded. I would like to see them get made, but I'm not backing it, and it hasn't. It has nothing to do with anything. Like all the sculpts look great. The idea is awesome behind it. I love all those designs, but it's just in a scale that I don't collect. And I think this is also a telltale for how well a potential 6-inch Joe line would go. And I think that like this is showing that there just is an interest in 6-inch GI Joes, and I know a lot of people, they want their 6-inch cartoon cast and this and that and the other, but I just don't think it's going to happen. Snake Eyes, maybe, definitely.
I don't know. I hear what you're saying, and I love you like a brother, but I have to disagree because there's that. What is that toy line? Fortnite. That looks like
Fortnite.
That
video game.
Yeah, characters. That looks. They got one that looks like God, what's his name?
Firefly.
I have him, and people just love that character, love that size, and it just there's the positive reaction just from that alone. I just think that the price, he's got the price point wrong. He's got the assortment wrong.
But how many of those Fortnite people that like that Firefly looking figure are actual G.I. Joe fans or even know what G.I. Joe is? Like,
well, they're all calling him Firefly. I mean,
who's all though? Who's their all? Is it 200 people on Twitter, or is it 50,000 people playing Fortnite? Because I guarantee you, it's the former, not the latter. Like I said, man, I get it.
I couldn't tell you.
Right. I get that 6 inches, quote unquote, the scale. But it's like, dude, even Jazzwares came out swinging with 3 3/4 inch Fortnite toys, and they were, they were killing it with them. It's just a scale that more people have than the 6-inch stuff. And it's just a fact. Like 3 3/4 dominated for so many years. And you do have 6-inch. You're able to get a little bit more out of 6-inch. But like you're talking like you're trying to appeal to that military action figure collector, and they just bet my bottom dollar they got more invested in 3-inch 3 3/4 than they do in 6. And I would love to see him kind of turn it back around and kind of edit everything and sort of tweak everything to where it would be that 3 3/4 inch scale. And I mean, I would be in. I would 100% be in at that point, just because again, that's what I and a lot of other people we're into. Like 6-inch, I just don't think is the way to go. It's cool, would have been neat to see,
but do you think that because this is not really, and I'm not trying to be offensive in any way to this guy because he's great, but do you think it could be the stigma that it's still not G.I. Joe that's kind of hurting it?
Here's what I think, and I was reading through some of the current comments on His Tank, was that some of these guys who are hardcore 3 3/4, they actually backed him just for the Steel Brigade figure, which people who don't know, Hasbro let lapse a lot of their trademark names, one of them being Steel Brigade. And Bobby is a huge Steel Brigade fan. He made out his own inspiration of Steel Brigade, and he has the licensing to use the name and did use it. he did catch a lot of flack on his from the collectors, thinking, you know, these message boards, you can't make everyone happy.
Yep, that's
a
true.
lot of things were called into question. One guy even sat here and said that he did it just out of spite because he got fired from Hasbro. No, I mean, the point being is that Hasbro has no intentions in even using it in the next 2 to 3 years. So they had no need to pick up the name again.
It's not like he was waiting in line at the patent office,
right?
And he just he it's like he turns and he looks behind him and 10 paces back as the Hasbro guys trying to re-up these GI Joe names they forgot about. Like, that's not how that works. He clearly knew
when they
that,
fired up the whole damn line.
Right, he clearly knew that they had no intention of doing anything with it, and him being a fan of the property wanted to see that live on. And that's the thing, dude. You guys probably know my stance on online fandom at this point. And that's just it for online fandom. Like, you really can't let them, rustle your jimmies like that. But, dude, again, I look at it and I see if it would have been 3 3/4, I don't think he would have had. I think, so the goal in theory would have been, cheaper, and I think he would have gotten far more backers because, again, it's just a market. I think there's more of a market than folks want to admit for the 3 3/4 inch stuff, because that's what people have been collecting for 40 years.
And as before in the past, I kind of disagreed with you, but now thinking about it and looking on J.E. Russell's Chicken Fried Toy Cowboy line, how well it did, I'm kind of the point of, and how you are, people want something to go with their 3 3/4 figures they already have.
Yes. Yep.
So I feel like if Action Force was a 3 3/4 line, it probably would have been funded. It would have been cheaper. And also, other people have pointed out, and I kind of agree with this, if the option of how much was the packaging, the artwork of the packaging in the box, how much was that funded into the price of the $107,000? I don't know whether it was a whole lot or what.
So minuscule.
Yeah.
I'll go ahead and I'll be that guy. He didn't there's it looks like just typical sliding card back packaging, like your Boss Fight Studios, Sparrow Toys, like that kind of packaging. Very little of that overall goal went into packaging. If you would,
I would know that myself. I had no idea.
Yeah, and I know Bobby is he's got some artistic talent as well. Like, I don't know what all of the even the artwork, man, even the artwork portion, if he didn't do it himself, just paying for the person that did do it, again, it wouldn't have played a huge role in that overall price.
Right. Yep. But actually, he did all the artwork that was drawn up. He did all that. He had the molds in, and he assembled them all, and he had an artist paint them for him in order to have in time for Joe Fest a few weeks ago. So,
yeah,
I mean,
so painted hard copies is basically where it was at. Yeah,
exactly.
And that isn't, and I don't, I'm not gonna because I don't know what method he used. I don't know if he 3D printed them, if he got a resin printing machine. I don't know what all he got to get those hard copies in hand. But as far as like all your money is in the tooling. That's where all your money is.
Yeah, that's the expensive part.
Yeah, dude, because you're talking big steel chunks overseas, and getting all that set up and done, and that's where your money is. I just, like I said, man, I think, and I feel like I'm right on it. I feel like a lot of people would back me. It was 3 3/4 inch. I think if he didn't meet the goal, he'd be so close to it by now. You know what I mean? At this point. I also I remember there was something to do with the character selection whenever he had originally opened up the Kickstarter. Put all your ace characters up at the front, and then add your niche stuff to the back end of stretch goals. Don't put like kick-ass characters as a stretch goal. That's something that always turns me off. It's like whenever Takara did the Grand Maximus, and they were like, well, if we get this amount of pre-orders, we'll do the little Pretender shell, and they didn't get that many pre-orders. It's like, come on.
Yeah, I was disappointed in that.
As a consumer, that's just something that kind of upsets me. But I get it. You want to have some kind of interest there to go after that. For someone for multiple people to want to throw down on it. But you're also kind of coming out the gate too, and like I said, man, they're awesome designs. I would love to have them because I display my G.I. Joes, my Marvel Universe, my Vitruvian hacks, and eventually my Cowboys from John. They're all in the same area. They're in their little groups and whatever, but they're all together.
Right.
And
and I cannot wait to get. John has a set for me. He's sticking around with me and getting them to me. He's supposed to have some kind of thing down in Dallas, which I was going to tell. Whenever he gives me the date, I'll let you know, D, if you're able to go to it or not. We can meet down in Dallas.
Yeah.
Or we can meet in Texarkana and ride together, Dallas, whatever you want to do. But anyways, I want to go ahead and jump off this subject because this will be something else I'll talk about tomorrow night on the Angry Mike after Justin our G.I. Joe show. Something I want to talk about that we all talk about, which I think is really cool. We all know we are extremely big Transformer fans, and this weekend is TFCon in Toronto. There is a gentleman from mainly Twitter, or I see him, and I think Instagram. He goes by. I met him once, and I think it was 2015. Real cool kid. His name is Grimlockumus.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
He is a hell of a customizer. My God, he customized so much stuff that looks really amazing. He donated 5 pieces to the Make-A-Wish auction, and I'm trying to find the ones
is one of them the Omega Supreme? Because I saw he brought that.
Yes,
which is pretty cool. Like I saw that, I was like, man.
What was the color scheme off of?
I don't know what the original color scheme like originated from, but it was like crazy, like neon, like hot pink colors and stuff like that.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah, and it was something that I think originally BotCon was going to do it from that Energon Omega mold, but and they said it was coming and it was coming, and then like after a few years it was just like, yeah, we're not, we're just not going to do Omega Supreme. It's just not, doesn't make any sense, blah blah blah. And at that point it was kind of already the end anyways. But I know a lot of people really wanted it. I really wanted it, and like I grabbed a few pictures of it just in case like I ever find one of those Omegas pretty cheap. I'm gonna make me one, I think.
Okay, so here's what he did. He 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think he donated 6 items. One is the new Siege Springer as Grimlock, which looked amazing.
I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah. Like
he did.
Yeah.
Now he also did a custom, which we actually will get this from the Siege line. Starscream done as Needle Nose, which Hasbro's already doing that. He'd already started working on it, I think, or did it before they announced it.
Yeah,
so
my
he has that void.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, and then he did Snowcat out of Ironhide from the
Energon, right? Or was it Cybertron?
Yeah,
one of those two.
Energon. It was Energon. And then he also did a. It is a. I'm not sure what I can't really zoom in on the picture that well, but it's a. Oh man, what's her name? One of the wing bots, Wingblade, but in like a dark camo color looking version. I'm not sure what it was, the character. And then there was a studio series. I think that's Rampage, but it was instead of red, it was the tan color one he had painted. But anyways, he donated all these to TFCon for Make-A-Wish. I'm trying to see here. I just noticed where one of them, I guess they're doing the auction now. Where's it at? Okay. Well, I thought it was okay. Megatron, Minor Megatron from the original comic book series of Megatron's origin. I guess like a 4-part miniseries. It was black and had the caution lights across it, and on the head and everything.
Right.
It went for $380.
Wow.
I believe it, dude. That's such a awesome design. And Grim Alchemist, dude, he does like some really awesome customs. I remember, I think the first time I met him, I knew him like, we had some interactions on like some of the boards and things like that. And I met him at, I think, BotCon 15. Cool dude,
Yeah, he really is.
So, but that's awesome, man. That's all. And like, I know he's like, a lot of his customs are like very like kind of sought out. He's steady creating, you know what I mean?
Right.
Steady making stuff, which is awesome. It's really cool.
I
think the Supreme. No, maybe that's something else. There was something else that he had that he entered into the customs contest in Toronto this year.
I'll have to look there again.
Yeah, I can't remember what it was.
His Snowcat went for half of what Megatron went for. So that's $190 for a deluxe custom.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So if you get a chance to go over there, it is Grim Lockmus it's listed right now as Grim Lockmus at TFCon. It's at Chromia TYR
at Chrome Tyranno.
Okay, that's I can't. I can't talk.
We called it Chromia.
Yeah. So there's some close-up pictures of the needle nose. He did a new head for it. Knocked out.
Oh, really?
Park.
Wow.
Yeah, the Megatron's on there. Amazing. This customs note. Rampage done in the tan colors, not the red, is what it was. It was one of the studio series he did. So cool dude, cool stuff he did. He even did a Predaking, the Power of the Prime's Predaking as the
Magna Boss.
Oh my God, that thing was absolutely amazing.
Dude, I think he had that one at TFCon last year, and Joe from Stasis Lock was just like, can you make one of those for me? Can you sell it to me? Can you do one of these things for me?
Right.
And Joe really wanted it. So it looked really good.
And of course, with TFCon going on this week, apparently someone got married at TFCon, which is strange.
There's an original idea: getting married at a convention.
Yeah,
proposing at a convention.
Yeah,
dude, that shit worked back in the early 2000s, but now, man, think of something else.
Yeah. So let's see. There was that. Let's see. Okay.
Did anyone propose at your show this year, Mike? I feel like someone did and I missed it because it seems like every year that I've gone, someone has proposed.
2 years ago, someone proposed.
Oh, okay.
And unfortunately, they're still married.
Did you say unfortunately?
Yeah, I did. Anyways, 3 episodes ago, we did an interview with Brian Shear with what is that? Thunder Punch.
Gunship Thunder Punch.
Yeah, he is less than $350 away from hitting $30,000, and it is the last stretch goal he will have. It is including a Thunder Punch blockheads. I don't know what a blockhead is.
I don't know what a blockhead is either. Dude, that's the thing. Like, I'm steady getting emails for like updates ever since I backed it.
Mm-hmm.
And like I'm just like, dude, I don't care. Like, send me that book. Like I just want to read that book. I haven't even read any of the updates.
He he extended it out for another 30 days, which is good for me. So I have 2 more weeks from today to go ahead and fund it, which by then it'll already hit the 30,000.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't know. Do you get to get everything if you come in after the stretch goals are hit?
Dude, I have no idea. Like, honestly, I have no clue. I don't fund stuff too much. Like, as far as so I wasn't aware that anything was unlocking as a part of a stretch goal. If it's something I had to go back and pay for, I don't know. The only thing I know is like I'm getting the book, and that's what I want. I just wanted the book, and if extra stuff comes with that, that is fantastic. I'm down. I'm always down for some extra stuff. But if it doesn't, I'm also cool with that too, because again, I just wanted the book.
You just want the book?
Yeah, man, I just want to read that book.
Yeah. Let's see. Next spring is an Action Master Elite. And
Action Master Elite.
That's what Dalton said. And then ANODE is the wing blade mold.
Oh, a node. Okay, cool.
Yeah. Let's see. Another thing going on. You brought up earlier. Apparently, a couple more figures have been announced. They'll be on display at San Diego Comic-Con, which is going to be the Lancer. Jesus. I've been running ragged I'm having all kinds of issues today. Yeah, Autobot Lancer, which is a purple orange looking figure.
Yeah.
Pretty cool looking.
Man, they really should have reworked that deco.
They really should have used a different mold.
Well, I mean, I get why they're
the combiner.
Yeah,
I know, but they could have done something a little bit different.
Yeah, like I said, and there's like apparently some of these Lancers are already out and about. They've already kind of leaked out of their manufacturing country of origin. So it's only a matter of time before they pop up on Pulse. Same with Galactic Man Shockwave.
Yeah, so, y'all can say whatever you want to. That is Radio Shack Shockwave to me.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that. I check that out.
Let me see if I can find the picture and I'll screen share real quick.
That's like a gray version of Shockwave.
Yeah, it's the gray Shockwave.
Yeah.
Which is cool. I'm surprised the official MP hasn't had that treatment yet.
Me too, to be honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
They should have. A third party did it, so why can't they?
Yeah, maybe they were working on buying out Radio Shack's like 2 stores that they had left to
right.
Yeah, something. Who knows?
Now, are they actually calling it Shockwave, or is it?
No, I think they're actually. I think they're calling it Galactic Man.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, which is originally what it was called.
Yeah,
which is wild, So they got the Galactic Man name. But yeah, missed opportunity not calling it Shockwave.
Okay, so are you seeing the screen share?
Yeah.
Indeed.
Okay, wow. There we go. I figured out how to use it now. So yeah, there's the leader class Galactic Man Shockwave. And I have the purple one. And after looking at this one here, I actually like the colors on this one versus the one we got at retail, I guess. I don't know what it is. I don't know if the purple's too dark or what, but I really dig. I guess I've always liked the gray version.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is something that reminds me of like what BotCon and the old club would do. And like at this point, it's like I've been trying to kind of make sure I grab the select series stuff, but it's like, I see the stuff like Red Swoop. And like, because I've always looked at the Generation Selects as being that kind of replacement for the old club and convention toys, but I'm like, man, I don't feel like BotCon would have ever done Red Swoop. I think they would have been like, no, that's dumb, or Blue Streak or Silver Streak. Like, so I'm looking at a bunch of this stuff. I'm like, man, maybe I don't need to get all of this, but the Galactic Man Shockwave, I feel like if they were given the opportunity, that's something they would have done. So it's like, between that and the Lancer and the Green Light, like maybe I'm just destined to pick up stuff that I feel like FunPub would have released, and I'm cool with that. Like, I'm cool with just getting those. So,
Right. Yeah, this here, I'll definitely pick it up myself for sure. I don't know if I'm sure you're going to want to pick it up as well. This one is the deluxe class Lancer.
they really should have worked on that deco. Like,
Yeah,
I get it, but they should have done
Jesse
something.
do something?
Jesse did a really
put up
good,
marker?
yeah. He did a really good Digibash like Photoshop job of like what he kind of would have done. Given they have to they're kind of stuck with the plastics, the sprue layout and stuff like that. But even just the few added paint apps and different paint apps that Jesse had put on his Digibash, looked. I mean, it made it look so much better. Just with some paint on the knees, some lighter paint on the thighs, the face, and the hands. Really went a long way.
Than green light.
Yeah. I got the green light just to be a completionist on all the fembots, I guess, is the reason why I have her. I could go back, I haven't even gotten Alita 1. So I don't even have the main component. And even then, I only think I combine them because it actually looks so ugly. Combined.
See, I think the combined mode looks pretty. I think all these fembots as limbs look pretty good, but Alita just suffers from being that Starscream retool.
Yeah, that's pretty.
I think I would use Superion, the Silverbolt.
Yeah,
component. I like
that was the best. That was the best torso they ever made.
Yeah, it was, and they used it forever.
Mm-hmm.
So that was pretty much, I think, all we're going to do tonight. But before we do close out, and since you missed the question at the beginning, you want to go ahead and give us your top 5 of what you would like to see from the War of Cybertron series toy form that has not been announced yet.
I don't know if I even have 5, but it's more or less, I guess, like a conceptual thing. I would like to see some pre-Beast stuff of Beast Force characters.
Yes.
I think the design kind of, or the toy line in general lends itself to that. Like, a lot of a couple of dudes at least in the Stasis Lock camp were like, big convoy from the Galaxy Force Prime would look really good. So yeah, like I agree with that too. Like we're getting the G2 Sideswipe. I hope like we could get some other G2 homages out of just some crazy recolors. Maybe canceled G2, maybe obscure G2, maybe new G2, something like that. To kind of like go with that.
So enlighten me here with pre-Beast. Are you referring specifically to G2, or is there more? Because
no. Like I'm referring to Beast Wars characters in their Cybertronian modes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, kind of like the Botcon sets.
Right, like the Brunt. He that would be a perfect Scorpionox.
He really, and like people said even
that'd be awesome.
Yeah, but folks have even said Tankor, he'd make a good Tankor. Like honestly, I'm so perfectly happy with the Generations one we got, but even if it was just like a beefed up, new Tankor or something like that. But that kind of leads me in the next thing, like Beast Machines. Like we need a Jetstorm and a Thrust, an updated Jetstorm and Thrust to go with that Tankor. I would argue Obsidian and Strika too. Like I know, BotCon made theirs, and that was more or less meant to fit that classics G1 aesthetic. But we need some show accurate Beast Machines, something fierce. And I think, if they kind of played their cards right, granted, like I don't know what they would get out of a Jetstorm or even out of a Thrust that they could, use to kind of pander to the G1 crowd, because that's all they're doing is they're just pandering to the G1 crowd. But those are the things I want to see.
Now, I did mention before you came on that I think it'd be cool to get a G2 Starscream out of the current mold.
I mean, like that's another thing. Like, to what extent are they going to milk that thing?
G2 Thrust? No, I mean,
Or what about the other
Ramjet.
canceled?
Thank you.
The G2. Yeah, I mean, like the canceled G2 Seekers, like there was a brown and camo Ramjet, and there was like a black and gold Starscream, I think.
The G2 Hound.
Yeah, we get that too.
Well, we got no. That was General Hound I was thinking of. Someone had pointed out on Twitter that there's a leaked image, and they're not for sure if it's true or not, but it was a Hound repaint as Hot Shot coming out of the sea.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
Cybertron Defense Hotshot, and like that's another thing, man. Like it seems like the Galaxy Force stuff is also really well kind of put for this line, because like that was all based on a lot of Cybertronian designs, and like again, you go into the Dawn of Futures Past BotCon set, that was all Cybertron molds. You know, I think there's a lot you can get out of that. You know, so.
I want Hotshot to be a sports car.
I think someone had done some fan digibashes of the side swipe as a hot shot, but I feel like that Cybertron Defense hot shot is where you're going to get the most love out of it, because it's, maybe a little more niche or whatever.
Yeah. So.
Either way, I'll probably get it.
Yeah, that's how I am. So
yeah, man, SDCC is a week away, so
I'm hoping that those will go live. Was it last year that the Pulse put out some stuff during San Diego?
I think it was Hasbro Toy Shop. I think it was it the Grotesque? I think that was put out on I don't know if that was Toy Shop or if that was Toys R Us. Either way,
Toys R Us.
And see, like that's the thing. I don't know if that was San Diego or if that was a New York Toy Fair or New York Comic Con. I can't remember, but it was like during one of those cons last year. They were just like, "All right, you can go order this right now," and like everyone went. Unfortunately, I got mine in too.
Yeah, I'm hoping that this goes live during San Diego or something where I can get my hands on it. It'd be nice.
That'd be nice, yeah.
I think a lot of people are speculating that the Siege Skywarp and the G2 Sideswipe and Slam Dance are going to go live during the Prime Day, Amazon Prime Day, which I think is Monday. So
I thought
be ready for that.
Well, I was under the impression that Skywarp was a Walgreens exclusive.
No, it's like if I had to bet my bottom dollar, it was going to be Amazon along with Greenlight and Sideswipe and Slam Dance. Yeah, I don't think that they would be Walgreens. Mostly because like the Amazon stuff is typically multi-packs like that. Yeah. Like if anything, I would have bet Greenlight would have been the Amazon or the Walgreens exclusive. Mm-hmm. But turns out she was Amazon. I think they're all three going to be Amazon because there's listings for them popping up on Amazon and like even some other countries. So
yeah, the only Walgreens exclusive I know of is that Ratchet.
Yeah, that is true.
That's about it.
Like Dakota fell off, something happened to him.
Oh no! Hope he gets back up. Huh?
I'm falling. I can't get up. Or his phone died.
Yeah.
There he is. You fell off.
I know, man. I hit the back arrow on my phone and it like completely kicked me out.
Don't do that.
All right. Well, that's going to be our show for tonight.
I was just wondering if you want to touch up on TFCon Toronto at all.
Yeah, it hasn't started yet.
Well, we know of the exclusives at least, or some of them anyway.
Yeah, man. Like I feel a certain type of way about exclusives for TFCon. It's like because they're all coming from these different companies and retailers, and that's all well and good and everything. But it can be kind of frantic trying to get all of them. And like I went as a premium ticket person in Chicago a few months ago. It was a waste of $50. Like, the deal was like the premium ticket holders could just go to this one centralized place a day early, get all their exclusives, and like not have to worry about it. But then it's like, MMC or Ages 3 and up or whoever showed up with, an extra exclusive. And granted, it didn't sell out, but still it was like, well, I kind of like that kind of defeated the purpose of me being a premium ticket holder. You know what I mean? So like we have a pretty good idea. Like Fans Project has their G2 Dead End. X Transbots has the G2 Drag Strip.
Well, I hope I can get that one. Yeah.
Oh, dude, that's the thing, man. You can still get the G2 Wild Rider and G2 Breakdown from X Transbots. They're gonna be readily available even after the con. I'm surprised Toy Dojo did not list them, because like whenever the Wild Rider came out, they listed it on their website that Friday of the Los Angeles show.
Yeah, I remember that.
So I got some friends there, and one of them said that they didn't mind picking me up the drag strip. So if it doesn't go, if for whatever reason it doesn't go up tonight, then I will just have them pick it up, because I'm already having them send some stuff back to me that I sent to get autographs for and whatnot. But the Shattered Glass Drift is one thing, and like that's something that should have been at the October show. If you ask me, like.
Well, I'm sure they'll have another one, something else by then too.
Oh, yeah. I mean, well, no, not at the October show coming up, but the one that was in Chicago. Like at this point, like it's cool, but like I've already got the Club Shattered Glass Drift, and I'm just not a big fan of that MMC drift and wing mold. I think they're too big. I don't think they're sleek enough, so on and so forth. But yeah, I mean there is some cool stuff, and then there's the Masterpiece Paradron Medic that MMC is, that they got there. So I mean there's definitely cool stuff. I pity the poor bastards that paid an extra $50 for that premium weekend ticket.
They didn't have that when we went to the first TF Con, did they?
No. I think they had just kind of started that last year, I believe.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Because I am, I got to find, I guess, something outside of Pete's show to go do, and that would be, I guess, one of them.
Yeah.
Is to maybe go to the next Chicago one. I like Chicago, I guess. I really don't want to go to DC, and I sure the hell don't want to go to LA.
I do want to go. Like the only reason I want to go to DC is just because I want to sightsee. I've never been to the nation's capital.
Same here.
Right.
Yep, that's why I'm going.
I don't think I would even register for TFCon. I think I would just go like room with my friends and hang out with them, and then just while they're doing like the convention stuff, I would just go sightsee. Like that's like. I mean, it's kind of bad, like, you're going to a Transformers convention just to sightsee. But
that makes sense. I mean, like I'm going to PowerCon, and right next door is Disneyland, and I might hit that, So.
Right. Yeah. So it's like, I think it's cool. Like I said, I've always wanted to go. I'm still not sure I'm going. At this point, the only thing that's going to keep me going is if they get a voice actor that I, like basically Scott McNeil. Scott McNeil is the only way that I'm in on that. So I got so much stuff I need signed by him, and that's the way you get me to come out is if you get Scott McNeil.
You'll be bringing a shipping crate.
basically, like if they announce Scott McNeil, like my checked bag would be nothing but stuff I want autographed and a bunch of bubble wrap. So.
Yeah, I have 3 or 4 things I'd love to get autographed by him. Just having them show to show. I think someone said he does a one convention every year religiously. I can't remember what the name of it was.
It's the one in Florida. That's what I've heard too, and that may be in Florida. Florida's kind of close, I guess.
He lives in Canada, doesn't
he? Yeah.
Oh no, see how that's possible here. Whatever. A friend of ours is actually at TFCon Toronto. He he messaged me earlier. Good old Keith.
Oh, Keith is at Toronto?
Yeah, he asked me if I was there, and he says, yeah, I started a room-to-room sale, but no one showed up yet. And then he goes to tell me that he's not even at the con hotel.
Oh, my God.
No shit, no one showed up, man. How far away are you all? I'm 20 miles away. Ain't nobody
my
coming to your hotel. He's over in the States, and he's going across the line to go to TFCon. I'm like, come on,
Yeah.
dude. Ain't nobody
Sorry,
coming to your
Keith, it
damn
just
room
ain't
hotel.
happening.
Yeah.
We also got Tyler G from Stasis Lock. He's at TFCon. Cobra Zartan, I don't want to say his for real name. He's there. Chris Bricks on the Dollar, that dude's there. The Blackout and Shout guys are there. There's a lot. I got a lot of associates at TFCon Toronto this weekend.
Right.
So
even did Matt didn't go? Did he?
no, Baldwin didn't go.
No, I think
he's going to the Reston one, I think.
Yeah.
Okay, nothing else we can go to.
He's the Mr. Rogers of the Transformers world.
Me and Baldwin have talked. We're going to start our own called the Golden Corral Con.
I believe it. Man, he wanted to go to Corral so bad.
He did.
God.
We've talked about actually meeting up and getting lunch at Corral and taking all these crazy pictures and sending them to y'all, like holding our glasses up at the chocolate lava thing.
Or I was gonna say, or you take a picture in front of like one of the Jeff Foxworthy posters that they have in there.
Yeah.
You might be a redneck.
So, all right, we're going to jump off here. I appreciate you guys jumping on. Everyone who watched tonight, appreciate it. I'll be back on live tomorrow night, 6 p.m. Central Standard Time with Rick and Fred on Just Our G.I. Joe show. And then about 30 minutes after that show, we will have the next episode of Angry Mike. You do not want to miss it. I will be dropping some serious knowledge on some stuff that make your jaws drop and your wife's panties drop. So, Sport, tell people where they can find you at.
Find me on the internets, on YouTube's as Sportimus. You can find me on Twitter as Sportimus Prime.
And Dakota?
Internet personalities are just a construct to bring us all together in a way to mind control us. And don't forget to Naruto run to Area 51 in September. And the Earth is flat, and vaccines kill. Awesome. No, I'm kidding. You can find me everywhere in Primal Sabbath. None of that shit that I said is true or worth doing. So, anyway.
But the one thing that is true, that if you have any complaints whatsoever, we want you to reach out to Dulcinian's TFs. That's where you want to send all your complaints to.
He's our media guy. Yeah,
he will definitely take care of your question, whether he knows what you're talking about or not. So thanks for tuning in. Appreciate it. And we'll talk to you later.